Now that we've covered some basics, let's get into the steps to build a list. Some people also call this prospecting. How do you find potential people to reach out to? So 7 steps that we'll go through. Create a list of companies, identify the potential decision makers, guessing their contact or their email, cleaning that list because sometimes there may be duplicates or typos, and then you want to craft your message. And then lastly, you send that message in bulk and you want to automate this entire process if you can. So 7 steps, we'll go through each of them in detail. Step number 1, you need to create a list of companies. So where do you start? You first start with who has this problem? Where do they hang out both online and in person? Are they in certain groups? Are they in forums? Are they attending specific industry or topic conferences or trade shows? Do they have memberships in certain associations? Are they certifications or awards that they covered? Are they listed on certain, directories? Do they self-identify with certain keywords on platforms like LinkedIn, right? Do they use certain job titles or bios or skills? For example, if you're selling sales software, maybe you want to target a sales ops person who recently changed their jobs, because if they recently changed in the last, let's say, year, maybe they're more motivated to implement new changes. How do they solve it? How do they solve the problem? Are they using specific keywords to search for things? Are there notable blogs on the topic? Are there workshops or webinars that they like to attend to learn? Are they subscribed to specific newsletters? Are there channels or content creators that they follow? Because if you can see the followers of a specific content creator, those are maybe potential clients that you can go after, right? Are there popular videos that they possibly watch or engage with? Like if people commented on a certain video, maybe they're a potential prospect. Of course, also just looking at your competitors. What are they doing? If your competitors are in certain places, attending certain events, then maybe you want to be in those same places to try to build your list. Referral partners, right? Who are some non-competitors that also serve your prospects in different ways? Maybe they can give you a list of potential people to reach out to. Let's say if you are a kayak maker, maybe a kayak paddle company or a life jacket company could be a potential partner. Your goal here is, yes, you want to try to qualify, but don't assume that anyone won't buy it. Your goal here is to compile a list of potential customers. You will qualify them next when you reach out to them. So, for example, if I have a product and I'm trying to go after grocery stores in a new market in Vietnam, in Hanoi, I might try Google Maps and I might just search small grocery stores in Hanoi. And this list of potential grocery stores, that will be my foundation for building a list. So I might copy each of these companies and put them in a spreadsheet. Or maybe I might go to, let's say, if I'm trying to expand to Japan, the Japan Restaurant Association, and I'll look for all the different restaurants, let's say in a certain category or certain area. So you can filter depending on the list that you're looking at. Or here's another example. This search is food distributors in Canada based on the Canadian Business Registry. You can filter again by location, business type, or whether they're still active or not. And then what you do is you start to populate a spreadsheet. At the end of the day, you only really need the company name and their website to start. Everything else, my encouragement is, data is like garbage. The more you collect with it, you better know what you want to do with it, or it's just going to pile up, right? So any additional info, like, for example, company size, how many employees, if you're not going to use that information, don't collect it. But if you do intend on testing, because maybe you're not too sure who your target customer is, then sure, go ahead and collect it. But be intentional with what data you collect and how you're going to use the data. Lastly, before you kind of step on the pedal and populate your list, make sure you test that list to make sure it's effective before you go ahead and automate the entire process. Why is important? So my recommendation is start with about 50 entries in a list. You want to test the list source because, for example, you might find that, maybe the Canada Business Registry is not a good list source. Maybe a lot of companies are actually inactive, but they haven't updated their status. And when you reach out to a lot of people from this source, they actually don't respond or reply to you, right? So discontinue the list source if it's not a good list source, if too many people are either unqualified or uninterested. and then you can try a different source.